Yo, your boy's back with the most disturbing psychological analysis in hip-hop history. And I'm not playing with y'all today. What we're about to break down is so chillin', so clinical, so absolutely terrifying that it should come with a psychological trigger warning. I got a licensed criminal psychologist to analyze Drake's betrayal of Lil Wayne, and the professional assessment is bone chillin'. This ain't just rap beef, this is a clinical breakdown of predatory behavior patterns. This is what happens when you take hip-hop drama and put it under a forensic microscope. We're talking about a professional who has profiled serial killers, who has worked with the FBI, who has analyzed some of the most dangerous predators in criminal history. And when she looked at Drake's behavior, her assessment was terrifying. This isn't me just talking trash. This isn't me just hating. This is a licensed professional with over 15 years of experience in criminal psychology giving a clinical assessment of Drake's behavioral patterns. And the conclusions are disturbing. If you're ready for the most scientific destruction of Drake's character ever recorded, we about to get clinical. This psychological profile is so disturbing it should come with a warning. We're talking antisocial personality traits, predatory opportunism, emotional manipulation, and systematic patterns of betrayal. And it all starts with 2 bars from Kendrick Lamar that expose one of the most psychologically significant betrayals in hip-hop history. Let me read them for you. Fucked on Wayne girl while he was in jail, that's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing.
On Wayne girl while he was in jail, that's conniving.
Oh my God!
Drake Wayne girl while he was locked up.
I was gonna be hoes, so I couldn't blame Tammy.
Now most people heard these bars and thought, damn, that's disrespectful. But when a criminal psychologist analyzes these bars and the behavior they describe, the assessment is chilling. Because this isn't just disrespect, this is a clinical case study in predatory behavior. We're about to break down the timeline, the psychology, the clinical assessment, and the disturbing patterns that emerge when you analyze Drake's betrayal of Lil Wayne through a professional psychological lens. And trust me, by the time we're done, you're gonna understand why this isn't just about hip-hop beef. This is about personality disorders, predatory behavior, and psychological patterns that are genuinely concerning. So buckle up, because we're about to get scientific, we're about to get clinical, we're about to expose Drake's behavior through the lens of criminal psychology, and the profile that emerges is disturbing. Now, before we get into the clinical assessment, let me introduce you to the expert who's going to help us break this down. Because this isn't just me talking, this is a licensed professional giving a forensic psychological analysis. Meet Dr. Sarah Mitchell. She's a criminal psychologist with over 15 years of experience. She's worked with the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit. She's profiled serial killers. She's analyzed predators. She's testified in court cases. This woman has seen some of the most disturbing criminal behavior in human history. And when I showed her Drake's pattern of behavior, specifically focusing on the Lil Wayne betrayal, her professional assessment was chilling. She treated this like an actual criminal profile. She used the same analytical framework she uses when profiling dangerous offenders. Now, Dr. Mitchell made it clear that she's not diagnosing Drake with anything. You can't diagnose someone you haven't personally evaluated. But she can analyze behavioral patterns and identify concerning traits that are consistent with known psychological profiles. And the behavioral pattern analysis she provided is terrifying. Let me break down the framework Dr. Mitchell used to analyze this situation. First, she looked at opportunistic predation. This is when someone takes advantage of vulnerable situations for personal gain. It's a pattern seen in predators who specifically target victims when they're most helpless. Second, she examined mentor exploitation. This is when someone betrays trust figures who have helped them. It's particularly concerning because it shows an inability to form genuine bonds, even with benefactors. Third, she analyzed emotional manipulation. This is when someone uses performative gestures to avoid real accountability. It's a classic tactic used by people with antisocial personality traits. Fourth, she looked at pattern recognition. This is when you examine whether behavior is isolated or systematic. And with Drake, the pattern is clear and disturbing. Dr. Mitchell told me, and I quote, "This behavioral pattern shows classic signs of antisocial personality traits with predatory opportunism. The timing of the Wayne betrayal is particularly concerning from a clinical perspective." Let that sink in. A criminal psychologist who has profiled serial killers is saying Drake's behavior shows classic signs of antisocial personality.
On Wayne girl while he was in jail, that's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a...
On Wayne, who's the Wayne? No, Wayne, on Wayne girl. on Wayne girl. Like Lil Wayne? Like Lil Wayne. No. Not Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne. No. Lil Wayne. Girl Drake. The Lil Wayne girl. No. Drake took Lil Wayne girl while he was what?
Look, there's a part in the book where you say that he came in and told you that he had smashed one of your girls.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I wasn't worried about that. You know, I was just, that's just how life go when you locked up. Yeah, I know.
But Wayne was locked up, so Drake felt safe to confess. He felt safe to twist the knife. He felt safe to cause maximum psychological damage. This is predatory behavior. This is what predators do. They target victims when they're most vulnerable. They strike when the victim can't fight back. They calculate the risk and choose the perfect moment. And Dr. Mitchell's assessment is clear. This timing is not coincidental. It's calculated. It's predatory. It's disturbing. Now let's talk about the mentor betrayal aspect, because Dr. Mitchell explained that betraying a mentor is one of the most psychologically damaging forms of betrayal, and the clinical implications are disturbing. To understand why this is so significant, we need to understand the relationship between Drake and Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne discovered Drake. Back when Drake was still on Degrassi, still acting, still trying to figure out his music career, Wayne saw something in him. Wayne signed Drake to Young Money Records in 2009. He gave Drake a platform. He gave Drake credibility. He gave Drake access to the industry. Wayne put Drake on tours. He gave Drake features. He co-signed Drake to the entire hip-hop community. He vouched for Drake when nobody else would. Wayne called Drake his son in the rap game. He treated Drake like family. He mentored him. He guided him. He invested in him. Without Lil Wayne, there is no Drake. Drake's entire career exists because Wayne believed in him and gave him a chance. And how did Drake repay him? By sleeping with his girlfriend while he was locked up. Dr. Mitchell broke down the psychology of mentor betrayal, and it's chilling. First, there's trust violation. Mentors are people we trust implicitly. They're people who have invested in us. They're people who have our best interests at heart. Betraying that trust is one of the most psychologically damaging things you can do. Second, there's parental figure betrayal. Wayne wasn't just Drake's boss or colleague, he was a father figure. He treated Drake like a son. And betraying a parental figure is psychologically similar to betraying an actual parent. Dr. Mitchell explained that people who betray parental figures often have deep-seated issues with attachment and bonding. They struggle to form genuine emotional connections. They see relationships as transactional rather than meaningful. Third, there's gratitude deficit. This is when someone is unable to feel genuine appreciation for what others have done for them. Wayne gave Drake everything, and Drake couldn't even show basic loyalty in return. Dr. Mitchell said, and I quote, "When someone betrays their mentor, especially someone who gave them everything, it indicates a fundamental inability to form genuine emotional bonds. This is concerning from a psychological standpoint. A fundamental inability to form genuine emotional bonds. That's a clinical way of saying Drake can't actually love people. He can't form real connections. He sees people as tools to be used." Fourth, there's exploitation mindset. This is when someone views benefactors as resources to be exploited rather than people to be appreciated. Drake took everything Wayne gave him and then betrayed him. This shows a pattern of using people and discarding them, of taking what you need and giving nothing back, of viewing relationships as one-way streets where you extract value without providing genuine connection. And here's what makes it even more disturbing. Drake didn't just betray Wayne once. He's shown this pattern repeatedly throughout his career. He's targeted other men's women. He's betrayed other people who helped him. He's shown a consistent pattern of exploitation and betrayal. This isn't an isolated incident. This is systematic behavior. This is a pattern, and that's what makes it so psychologically concerning. Dr. Mitchell explained that when you see systematic patterns of betrayal, especially of people who have helped you, it suggests deep-seated personality issues. It suggests an inability to form genuine bonds. It suggests antisocial tendencies. And that brings us to the most disturbing part of the analysis, Drake's so-called apology. Here's where Dr. Mitchell's analysis gets terrifying. She broke down Drake's tattoo apology, and the psychological profile is chilling. So what happened after Drake betrayed Wayne? Did he apologize privately? Did he try to make amends? Did he show genuine remorse? No, he got a tattoo. In 2017, approximately 2 years after Wayne's prison diary excerpt surfaced publicly, Drake got a tattoo of Lil Wayne's face on his left tricep. Now, to most people, this might seem like a nice gesture, like Drake is showing love to his mentor, like he's paying tribute. But Dr. Mitchell's clinical analysis of this behavior is devastating. She explained that this is what's called performative remorse. It's when someone makes a public gesture that appears remorseful, but doesn't actually involve any real accountability or change.
Selfish, lying, manipulative sack of shit who has made enemies for 15 years, and now we're here at the boiling point.
They both could be true.
You've been behind the scenes, being the biggest sack of shit you can possibly be. Let's dip on this chip. You have been behind the scenes, hitting the baby moms, sending money to baby. Yo, dog, you been back and sending messages to this nigga wife. Talk about fucking, hey, but this nigga's mom died. Hey, all that's cool, but where my beat at, nigga? I don't give a f. Your mom died. Dog, this nigga's been a sack of shit behind the scenes.
Let me break down the psychology of performative remorse. First, there's image management. The tattoo is public. Everyone can see it. It's designed to control the narrative. It's saying, look how much I love Wayne, without actually addressing the harm that was caused. A real apology would be private. It would be between Drake and Wayne. It would involve genuine acknowledgement of the pain caused. It would involve making amends. But a tattoo? That's for the public. That's for the cameras. That's for Instagram. It's not about Wayne. It's about Drake's image. Second, there's emotional avoidance. The tattoo allows Drake to appear remorseful without actually engaging with the emotional consequences of his actions. He doesn't have to sit with Wayne and hear how much he hurt him. He doesn't have to face the pain he caused. He doesn't have to do the work of genuine reconciliation. He just gets a tattoo and moves on. It's the easy way out. It's avoiding the actual emotional labor of making amends. Third, there's manipulation tactics. The tattoo is designed to make people think Drake has changed, that he's learned, that he's sorry. But has his behavior changed? Has he stopped targeting other men's women? Has he shown genuine loyalty to anyone? No. The pattern continues. The tattoo is just a symbol. It's not actual change. Dr. Mitchell said, and I quote, "The tattoo represents what we call performative atonement. It's designed to appear remorseful while avoiding the actual work of making amends. This is classic manipulative behavior." Classic manipulative behavior. That's what a criminal psychologist calls Drake's tattoo. It's not genuine remorse. It's manipulation. It's image management. It's avoiding real accountability. And here's where it gets even more disturbing. Kendrick references another tattoo in his bars. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. Now this could be referring to the Wayne face tattoo, but it could also be referring to Drake's 2023 face tattoo above his right eyebrow that reads Miskeen. Drake claims Miskeen is Toronto slang for sweet and innocent. But here's the thing. Miskeen is actually an Arabic word that translates to poor and pathetic. So Drake got poor and pathetic tattooed on his face thinking it meant sweet and innocent. The irony is incredible, and Kendrick is playing on both meanings. Drake is poor and pathetic for his behavior, and he targets the sweet and innocent, young girls, vulnerable people, people who can't defend themselves. Dr. Mitchell's analysis of this is chilling. She explained that the tattoo choices reveal a lot about Drake's psychology. The Wayne tattoo shows performative remorse without genuine change. The Miskeen tattoo shows either ignorance or a subconscious admission of what he really is, poor and pathetic. Both tattoos are about image. about how Drake wants to be perceived, not about who he actually is. This is classic narcissistic behavior, caring more about appearance than reality, more about perception than truth. And it all ties back to the same pattern. Drake uses symbols and gestures to avoid real accountability. He performs remorse without actually changing his behavior. Now let's talk about the predatory pattern recognition, because when Dr. Mitchell analyzed Drake's entire pattern of behavior, the psychological profile became clear. This isn't isolated incidents. This is systematic predatory behavior. Dr. Mitchell explained that when analyzing behavior, you always look for patterns. One incident could be a mistake. 2 incidents could be coincidence. But when you see the same behavior repeated over and over, that's a pattern. And patterns reveal personality. So let's look at Drake's pattern of behavior. First, there's target selection. Drake consistently targets women who are connected to other men, specifically men who are his rivals, his competitors, or in Wayne's case, his mentor. He targeted Wayne's girlfriend while Wayne was locked up. He targeted Meek Mill's fiancée, Nicki Minaj, during their beef. He targeted Pusha T's fiancée, Virginia Williams. He targeted Kendrick's fiancée, Whitney Alford. He targeted Serena Williams, who was with Alexis Ohanian. He targeted Georgia Smith, who was with Joel Compass. This is a pattern. This is systematic. This is not random. Dr. Mitchell explained that this type of target selection is concerning because it shows Drake is specifically choosing victims based on their connection to other men. He's not just attracted to these women. He's attracted to the power dynamic of taking them from other men. Second, there's timing exploitation. Drake consistently strikes when his targets are most vulnerable. Wayne was locked up when Drake betrayed him. This shows Drake understands vulnerability and exploits it.
On Wayne girl while he was in jail, that's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. I'm glad D-Rose came home.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This nigga has a tattoo of Lil Wayne and Sade. This nigga's corny. Why would you get a tattoo? Wow, I didn't even know this.
This shows Drake understands vulnerability and exploits it. He waits for the perfect moment when his target can't effectively defend themselves. Third, there's relationship destruction. Drake's behavior consistently damages other men's relationships. Wayne's relationship with Tammy was damaged. Meek and Nicki's relationship was strained. Drake tried to damage Kendrick's relationship with Whitney. This isn't coincidental. Drake is deliberately trying to destroy other men's bonds. This shows a level of malice that's disturbing. Fourth, there's accountability avoidance. Drake never takes genuine responsibility for his actions. He got a tattoo instead of genuinely apologizing to Wayne. He sued instead of responding to Kendrick with music. He uses performative gestures instead of real change. This shows a consistent pattern of avoiding accountability, of using symbols and gestures instead of genuine remorse. Dr. Mitchell's professional assessment of this pattern is chilling. She said, and I quote, "What we're seeing is a consistent pattern of predatory opportunism combined with emotional manipulation. This behavioral profile is deeply concerning and suggests underlying personality disorders." Underlying personality disorders. That's what a criminal psychologist sees when she looks at Drake's behavior. This isn't just drama. This isn't just beef. This is a clinical pattern of predatory behavior. Dr. Mitchell explained that when you see these patterns, target selection, timing exploitation, relationship destruction, accountability avoidance, it suggests someone with antisocial personality traits. These are people who lack genuine empathy, view relationships as transactional, exploit others for personal gain, avoid real accountability, use manipulation instead of genuine connection. And that's exactly what Drake's pattern shows. He doesn't form genuine bonds, he exploits people. He doesn't show real remorse, he performs gestures. He doesn't take accountability, he avoids it. He doesn't respect relationships, he destroys them. This is a clinical pattern. This is systematic behavior. This is what predators do. And here's what makes it even more disturbing. This pattern has been consistent for over a decade. The Wayne betrayal was in 2010, and Drake is still showing the same patterns in 2024. That's 14 years of the same behavior. That's not a phase, that's not a mistake, that's personality. Dr. Mitchell explained that when patterns persist for this long, they're not situational, they're core personality functioning. This is who Drake is. This is how he operates. This is his fundamental approach to relationships and power. And that brings us to Dr. Mitchell's final psychological assessment, which is terrifying. Dr. Mitchell's final psychological assessment of Drake is disturbing. According to clinical standards, this behavioral pattern indicates serious psychological issues that go way beyond normal relationship drama. Let me break down Dr. Mitchell's final clinical profile of Drake based on his documented behavioral patterns. First, there's antisocial tendencies. Dr. Mitchell explained that Drake's behavior shows classic signs of antisocial personality traits. What are antisocial personality traits? They include lack of empathy for others, disregard for social norms and rules, manipulation of others for personal gain, lack of genuine remorse, inability to form authentic emotional bonds, exploitation of trust relationships, consistent pattern of betrayal. Does Drake show these traits? Let's look at the evidence. Lack of empathy. He betrayed Wayne while Wayne was locked up and vulnerable. Disregard for norms. He violated the hip-hop code of loyalty to your mentor. Manipulation. He uses performative gestures instead of genuine accountability. Lack of remorse. He got a tattoo instead of genuinely making amends. Inability to bond. He betrayed the man who treated him like a son. Exploitation. He used Wayne's platform and then betrayed him. Pattern of betrayal. He's shown this behavior repeatedly for 14 years. The evidence is overwhelming. Drake shows multiple antisocial personality traits. Second, there's predatory opportunism. Dr. Mitchell explained that Drake's behavior shows systematic predatory patterns. What is predatory opportunism? It's when someone identifies vulnerable targets, waits for the perfect moment to strike, exploits situations for personal gain, shows no genuine concern for the harm caused, repeats the pattern systematically. Does Drake show this? Absolutely. He identified Wayne as vulnerable while locked up. He waited for the perfect moment when Wayne couldn't retaliate. He exploited the situation by sleeping with Wayne's girl. He showed no genuine concern by confessing while Wayne was trapped. He's repeated this pattern with multiple other men. This is textbook predatory opportunism. This is what predators do. Third, there's manipulative personality. Dr. Mitchell explained,
hella spooky in here, man.
Hey, you gotta fuck this nigga girl, you gotta get him juice.
These niggas say, "K, you gotta f this nigga girl."
Dr. Mitchell explained that Drake consistently uses manipulation tactics to avoid accountability. What are manipulation tactics? They include performative gestures instead of genuine change, image management instead of real accountability, symbolic actions instead of behavioral change, public displays instead of private amends, deflection instead of acknowledgement. Does Drake use these tactics? Let's look. Performative gestures, the Wayne tattoo, image management, controlling the narrative through social media, symbolic actions, tattoos instead of real apologies, public displays, Instagram posts instead of private conversations, deflection, suing instead of responding to criticism. Drake is a master manipulator. He knows how to appear remorseful without actually being remorseful. Fourth, there's relationship parasitism. Dr. Mitchell explained that Drake shows a pattern of extracting value from relationships while providing nothing genuine in return. What is relationship parasitism? It's when someone uses people for personal benefit, provides no genuine emotional reciprocity, discards people when they're no longer useful, shows no loyalty or genuine connection, views relationships as purely transactional. Does Drake show this? The evidence is clear. He used Wayne's platform to build his career. He provided no genuine loyalty in return. He betrayed Wayne when it suited him. He showed no real emotional connection. He viewed the relationship as transactional. This is parasitic behavior. Drake is a parasite in relationships. Dr. Mitchell's final conclusion is devastating. She said, and I quote, Based on the documented behavioral patterns, this individual shows concerning signs of antisocial personality traits with predatory characteristics. The systematic nature of these betrayals suggests this is core personality functioning, not situational behavior. Let me break down what that means in plain English. Concerning signs of antisocial personality traits equals Drake shows multiple traits associated with antisocial personality disorder. With predatory characteristics equals Drake's behavior is consistent with predatory patterns. Systematic nature of these betrayals equals this isn't random, it's a pattern. Core personality functioning, not situational behavior, equals this is who Drake is, not just what he does sometimes. This is a clinical assessment from a licensed criminal psychologist. This isn't opinion, this is professional analysis. Dr. Mitchell is saying that Drake's behavior is consistent with personality disorders, that his predatory patterns are systematic, that this is his core personality. And here's what makes it even more disturbing. Dr. Mitchell explained that people with these personality patterns rarely change. Why? Because they don't see their behavior as wrong. They don't feel genuine remorse. They don't have the capacity for empathy that would motivate change. They might change their tactics. They might get better at hiding their behavior, but the core personality remains the same. And we can see this with Drake. He's been showing the same patterns for 14 years. The tactics might change, but the behavior is consistent. Dr. Mitchell also explained that people with these traits are often very successful in their careers. Why? Because the same traits that make them predatory in relationships make them ruthless in business. Lack of empathy equals ability to make cold business decisions. Manipulation skills equals ability to navigate industry politics. Image management equals ability to build a public brand. Exploitation mindset equals ability to use opportunities for personal gain. So Drake's commercial success doesn't contradict the psychological profile, it actually supports it. He's successful because of these traits, not in spite of them. The same personality that makes him betray Wayne makes him successful in the music industry. But here's the final, disturbing conclusion. Dr. Mitchell explained that people with these personality patterns leave a trail of damaged relationships behind them. And we can see this with Drake. Wayne was hurt and betrayed. Meek Mill's relationship with Nicki was damaged. Pusha T had to defend his fiancée. Kendrick had to defend his wife. Multiple women have been used as pawns. Drake leaves destruction in his wake. Damaged relationships, hurt people, broken trust, and he feels no genuine remorse. He just moves on to the next target, the next opportunity, the next exploitation. This is the psychological profile of Drake, according to a licensed criminal psychologist who has studied predators for 15 years. This isn't hate. This isn't bias. This is clinical analysis. And the profile is disturbing. If this clinical analysis of Drake's psychological profile disturbed you as much as it disturbed the expert, you need to understand the magnitude of what we just uncovered. Mentor while Wayne was locked up and vulnerable. The timing of the betrayal shows calculated predatory behavior. The confession while Wayne was trapped shows emotional sadism. The tattoo apology shows performative remorse without genuine change. The pattern of behavior shows systematic predatory opportunism. The clinical profile shows antisocial personality traits. This is not just hip-hop drama. This is psychology. This is clinical analysis. This is disturbing. And here's what makes it even more significant. This analysis validates everything Kendrick said in Not Like Us. Kendrick said Drake is not like us, and the psychological profile confirms it. Drake doesn't operate by normal social rules. He doesn't form genuine bonds. He's a predator. Kendrick exposed Drake's pattern of targeting women, and the clinical analysis confirms its systematic predatory behavior. Kendrick called out Drake's fake apologies, and the psychological analysis confirms their performative manipulation. Everything Kendrick said is backed up by clinical psychology. This is why Not Like Us is so devastating. It's not just bars, it's truth, it's exposure, it's revealing Drake's core personality. And when you have a criminal psychologist confirming that the behavior Kendrick exposed is consistent with antisocial personality traits and predatory patterns, that's validation on a whole different level. This isn't just winning a rap beef. This is exposing someone's psychology. This is revealing their core personality. This is showing the world who Drake really is. And the profile is disturbing. When criminal psychologists are calling your behavior predatory, you know you've crossed lines that can't be uncrossed. When licensed professionals are identifying antisocial personality traits and your behavior patterns, you know you're not just controversial, you're concerning. When experts who have studied serial killers are saying your behavior shows calculated cruelty, you know you're operating on a level that's genuinely dangerous. This is the truth about Drake. This is who he really is. This is what happens when you put his behavior under a clinical microscope. The mask comes off, the image crumbles, the reality is exposed, and the reality is disturbing. Drake is not just a rapper who makes questionable decisions. He's someone with a systematic pattern of predatory behavior that's consistent with personality disorders. He's not just someone who made mistakes. He's someone whose core personality is exploitative and manipulative. He's not just someone who hurt people. He's someone who systematically targets vulnerable people and shows no genuine remorse. This is clinical. This is psychological. This is real. And it all started with Kendrick exposing 2 bars about Drake betraying Wayne. Those 2 bars opened the door to a clinical analysis that revealed Drake's true psychological profile. And that profile is disturbing. So remember this moment. Remember this analysis. Remember this exposure. Because this is the day we got clinical confirmation that Drake's behavior is predatory. This is the day a criminal psychologist analyzed Drake and found antisocial personality traits. This is the day science confirmed what Kendrick exposed. Drake is not like us. He's a predator, and we have the clinical evidence to prove it. Your boy out. And remember, when your behavior requires a criminal psychologist to analyze it, you're not just losing a rap beef, you're exposing your psychology. Peace.